I'm not sure it's necessarily fair of me to review an unfinished, unaired pilot, but nevertheless, that is what I'm going to be doing because I love Debbie Reynolds, and this is one of the very few final things of hers that I have to see. This was released, or created rather, in 2006. It's a pilot for what would have been a TV show called Lolo's Cafe. I don't know exactly why it wasn't picked up. It had a brilliant cast, the animation style is quite good. The narrative for me, it had potential, but in this particular pilot, in this episode, if you like, I think they went in the wrong direction, and I'll discuss what I mean by that. But certainly, it's always interesting to look at pilots and things and work out, or why perhaps it wasn't picked up at any point. It's directed by Guy Vasilovich and written by David Garber and Lance H. Robbins. As I said, we have Debbie Reynolds, who voices Mrs. Atkins. We have brilliant voice cast. We also have the fabulous Rita Moreno, who voices Lucretia, Carmen Electra, Jim Belushi. Really strong voice performance, and the voice acting, of course, is good across the board. And the setting is really interesting. I think the premise could have been quite fascinating, but what they decided to focus on here, I think, was a bad move. And if that's what the episodes were all going to be like, then yeah, I don't think it would have been very good. But I could see potential. It's all about Lolo's Cafe, and we get to meet Lolo. Certainly an interesting character. He's voiced by Louis Guzmán, and it's all about the different people who visit the cafe in their lives, and what they get up to, and the way they interact with the people in the cafe. And I thought that could be quite fun. We have a setting. We have a lot of different characters who presumably come from different walks of life, who have different outlooks, who may interact with each other in different ways, and it's the different things that they could get up to, and how we grow to love the characters over time. We learn more about them. We treat them as friends. A lot of sitcoms, animated or otherwise, I don't think I mentioned this was animated, are very good at doing that, presenting kind of a melting pot of characters and seeing them brought together in one environment. And that's where the potential was. I thought this could have been really interesting. The location was very effective. A cafe is a great place for this kind of thing, and I liked the way the cafe was designed. I thought the layout of it was very good. It was quite spacious, quite a large place where they could have done a lot of moving around and kept things fresh without needing to rely on too many external locations. Where I think it let itself down, for me personally, is the involvement of cockfighting. Now, if that's kind of the level of aggression that every episode would present, then it's not going to be for me. But of course, if that is what it was intended to be like, then it's important to represent that in this first episode, or in this pilot. Maybe that's why it wasn't picked up. But if every episode isn't going to be like that, then it's a big gamble to incorporate something that's going to alienate a lot of people in the pilot, because a lot of people, like myself, don't really agree with cockfighting. Some people do. That is absolutely fine. But when you're putting something like that in the pilot, you're going to say straight away, this is not going to appeal to everybody. Whereas when you're trying to pitch a show, you're supposed to make it seem at least, that you can have the widest audience possible. Because obviously that would mean increased viewers. And I think that was a big risk, and it didn't pay off. And that, for me personally, was one aspect of it that made me think, you've narrowed the viewers, you've reduced your audience, maybe not by a lot, but that can make or break it, especially if a studio or producer is looking at various pilots and they've only got the budget for one, and they see something that's going to alienate certain people, and they have another one that's got much wider appeal. Which one are they going to go for? So it had potential. If it is ever created, obviously not with the exact same voice cast, unfortunately, I would watch it out of curiosity, but I can also kind of see why it wasn't picked up. It's not perfect, it is flawed, but it's also interesting. So it's not something that I couldn't see working. For me personally, there are things that don't work, and because of that, there will be other people who feel the same way. And I think maybe it needed a bit more work. Not badly animated, decently edited, not hilariously funny, but entertaining enough. worth a watch out of curiosity. See what you think of it. If somebody had showed this to you as a pilot, would you have picked it up? Would you have wanted to know more? It is on YouTube. Somebody has very kindly uploaded it. I'm glad that I've seen it because of Debbie Reynolds, but I had an interesting experience with it, and I would say it's worth checking out.